Hey guys, it's Melissa here with Rooted Home and Garden. Today is a beautiful day. I wanted to take you around and give you a garden tour of what my garden looks like here in beginning of July. Now, just so you're aware, my garden tours are really authentic. I do not clean up for you as maybe I should, but I don't. I think that it's like I come out here and I think, oh, it's a good day for a garden tour, so let's look around. But I have 5 kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and chickens, and life happens. I think today we need to start off at the pergola. This is the area where we love to sit. My husband built this pergola several years ago. I think this thing is so awesome. It is beautiful. I've got wisteria that grows on it. Yes, these are seed pods for the wisteria, and I just think it looks so beautiful. Now, I live in Central Valley, California, Zone 9B, and wisteria actually grows really well in our area. Wisteria typically is one of those love-or-hate relationships. Some gardeners love it, and some do not want it anywhere near their property line. I happen to love it. I've had this wisteria for about 5 years now, and it's growing so well. Maybe it's actually longer than 5 years. Oh well, who knows? And I will say little sprouts do pop up once in a while, especially in the vegetable garden, which is where it is planted. And the vegetable garden is to the left of the pergola. And so you just have to go in there, pull it up. It's really easy to pull up, so it's not that horrible. My wisteria is not hooked up on water at all. Now, if it were hooked up on water, maybe I would have more of an issue of having it spreading, but mine isn't, and it's growing really well. It is next to water source, but it is not hooked up to water specifically. But as you can see, it is growing so beautifully. And over here in the corner, this is where it is planted. I have one plant right here, and it's grown all this way so far. All the way to about here. So I only have a couple more feet to go on this. Now, before you go and plant wisteria in your own yard, be aware of how aggressive it is. It grows very fast. I do have to climb up onto the pergola and prune it once a year, maybe twice a year if I'm feeling up to it. But that's more to keep it trained and growing in the direction that I want it to grow. Here behind my couch, I have some topiaries. These are the gardenia topiaries. They smell so good. I've got one bloom. It is pretty much done blooming for the time being, but I'll take it. That smells this entire pergola. It's so fragrant. And both of them are looking absolutely gorgeous. I have this cute little table. I've got some sweet potato vines growing in them, plus some succulents over there. I have some pots over here in the topiaries, and they're looking so good. Over here next to the seating area, I have this jasmine that's right here. What is this jasmine called? I always forget its name. It's called Arabian jasmine. Oh my gosh. Now I have jasmine that grows on my fence. This is actually star jasmine, and it's beautiful. It's been in bloom for months now, and it's looking really good. But this is a different variety. It doesn't grow nearly as big, and it's not nearly as aggressive. Well, at least from my point of view as this one in a pot. But look at the difference of the petals. Isn't that so pretty? And it smells so good. I think this one is beautiful. And now it is smaller. It doesn't grow as big as the star jasmine. Let me get you a view of the star jasmine blooms. So that's what these ones look like. So there's a little bit of a difference. I think this one, the Arabian jasmine, just looks a whole lot, just more delicate, just very precious. So sweet. I really like this one. I would like to have more of this somewhere in the yard because it really smells good, and it's healthy and it's happy, even in a pot. Now, I do have my strawberry containers up here. Some of them just are not looking great. Like, I do have a dead plant right here, which is such a bummer because I really don't like losing my strawberry plants. But for some reason, maybe the water isn't distributing correctly in these vertical gardens. I'm not sure. But something's going on. They just don't look as great as they normally do. So it's something I'm going to have to address rather quickly because, you know, I don't know if that's going to be a habit, if that was just a fluke. I don't know. But we definitely don't want more of that issue. But other than that, I've been picking strawberries off of them all over the place, and they've been so good. Ooh. That's not looking good. See this? This is a sign of chlorosis. This is not healthy. This is the gardenia. Oh, interesting. I didn't see that earlier today. The ones in the shade look better. This gets a lot of sun right in this spot. So maybe it's not chlorosis. Maybe it's just bleached out from being in the sun. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure that out, but that's something I need to address because we don't want to make this plant sick because it's lovely and it's gorgeous. This is my other vertical garden that I have. A lot of strawberries on. Oh, they're so yummy. My kids and I have just been eating them like crazy. So delicious. Oh, and again, look at another one at the bottom that's dead. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure. Oh, and one over here too. See, it's not, something's up. I don't know what's going on. Now, this is truly the life of a gardener. Sometimes things just die and you don't know why. Sometimes you do an excellent job taking care of it and it still dies. Things happen. But we do need to try to figure this out because we don't want more to die. Well, I don't. In this little pot over here, I have a Veronica, and this is a purple Veronica, and it was looking so beautiful. It's actually now time to be cut back. All the blooms are spent. So I should be cutting it back sometime very soon, and then new growth will come up and have a new flush of the flower blooms, and it'll look so beautiful again. My rose bush is out of control. I have not been training this up like I'm supposed to be doing. My plan is to kind of keep it tamed, keep it on the fence a little bit, maybe have it grow up on the pergola just a tiny bit, not too much because I do have the shade cover right here. Right there. Just pull these strings. We actually had this custom made when we first had the pergola built many, many years ago, which was really expensive to do for us. But at that time, you couldn't just buy these at Home Depot, but now you can. So, you know, that's life. And they're so much cheaper nowadays. But the rose is currently not in bloom, but I do have a single bloom right here. And it's so pretty. This is an apricot color, and it's so pretty. My row of blueberries are looking really well. I have to get these all harvested because you know what? It is starting to get too warm where the blueberries are starting to shrivel up and just not be good anymore. I've got to get them harvested. So that's my goal today, is get those harvested so that I don't have to worry about them anymore because I hate wasting the food that I grow. Now, this is my vegetable garden. I don't have a lot going on in here, but I do have a lot of pretty stuff that I'm really proud of. Well, first of all, here's another climbing rose, and I do have it growing over the fence like this, especially the gate, and I did that on purpose because I want it to look like an overgrown cottage, and it really does. This rose smells so good. Oh, it's so lovely. And I do have it growing up onto the arbor as well as the entrance. I am so proud of this vegetable garden. The way it looks, it's so cottagey. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot going on in here, but I do have stuff. So this is a watermelon that's growing. I'm growing it along the ground because I think that's just going to look so pretty, just very overgrown and cottagey, and that's the look I'm growing for this year. I have my tomato plants growing up, which I do need to thin out a bit. It's got a lot of bushiness that I need to take care of. And these are San Marzano tomatoes. I have some basil down below right here. Oh, look at this. This is my first tomato that's turning color. Oh, that's exciting because it is almost time to be harvesting the tomatoes. I have some figs growing and it's doing really well. I have a nectarine tree over here and another nectarine tree over here that needs to be trimmed up a little bit. Do you see these beautiful white butterflies that are all over my vegetable garden? They are not a friend, they are a foe. We don't want those because what these are is they lay budworms, and budworms destroy pretty much anything they touch. So the fact that I have so many butterflies in my vegetable garden means that they are laying their eggs here in my vegetable garden, which means those eggs are going to hatch. I'm going to have budworms eating all of my stuff. That's a problem. So I have a feeling, I hate to say it, I think it's about time where I'm going to have to start spraying chemicals. I really hate doing that. Seriously, it eats my soul every time I have to do that. I don't like doing it, but I can't have my stuff destroyed. So they're desperate times. Now, I will say I only use organic stuff. I do not use anything that's actually a real chemical. But regardless, I still don't like having to use anything in my vegetable garden. But clearly, it's becoming an issue. So it is something I'm going to have to take care of. Otherwise, what's the point of gardening, right? Now, my biggest concern are the tomatoes. So I want to make sure that I don't see any bugs on them. And so far, I don't see anything on them. Oop, this needs to be tied up. Okay, so that's good. That's good news. But still, there's something going on here, so we need to get it figured out. My cabbage has become the sacrificial plant this year. It is so eaten alive, and I do that. I do sacrificial plants as well so that they destroy something else rather than the thing I'm wanting to keep. And what I'm wanting to keep are my tomatoes. So if the bugs are attacking the cabbages, I'm okay with that. As long as they leave my tomatoes alone. That is my biggest thing, my tomatoes and my peppers. Now this tomato right here is actually in mostly shade. And look how well it's doing. It is doing so good. I'm very happy about that. Now, the sad thing about my garden is my raspberry bush. It's doing fine. It is fine. The only issue is it is getting sunburned. That's what all this is. This is just, it's too sunny and hot. I still had a ton of fruit. It's still producing, it's still alive, but very clearly this plant in particular is just frying where it is. I need some sort of shade cover on top of it to keep it healthy or to keep it from not getting burned, because it would look a whole lot prettier, obviously, if it didn't have it like that. But it produced so much fruit this spring. It was awesome. Now, I don't know the varieties of these raspberries that I have, and I know I have multiple different varieties. This one in particular will bloom twice a year, so I'm going to get a huge harvest in fall. Last fall I got a harvest all through winter. It was amazing. And then again I got another harvest in the springtime, so I know I'm going to get another big harvest again in the fall, which I'm so excited about. And I'll tell you, these raspberries taste so good. So it's so fun growing things that you love to eat. And that's the whole point of a vegetable garden, is growing things that you love to eat. Don't grow things just for the sake of you're supposed to grow them. If you don't like tomatoes, don't grow tomatoes. If you love them, grow them. I purposefully chose in my vegetable garden that I was only going to do tomatoes this year because that is what I wanted. Now I do have peppers growing in a different location, and I do have strawberries here and a few other little things, but my main priority were tomatoes this year, and I've succeeded. And that is why the watermelon is growing on the ground, because I want to make sure the beds are just for the tomatoes, and I'm very happy with that. Now I want to show you this. I bought this tree, this beautiful serpentine tree. I absolutely love this. I bought it for a different location. In fact, I actually bought it to replace the weeping cherry tree that I have growing over there, because I feel like I wanted to rework that area. But the tree is so happy that I couldn't do it. So I haven't been able to rip it out because of that reason. So I thought, well, let's just move this tree over here to the patio. I had this empty pot and I thought, let's just try it out. Well, unfortunately, it's too big for this beautiful big pot. So I just placed it in there and it's too heavy to pull out. But look at it next to the pool. Doesn't it look great right there? I love it right there. I love this so much. I think this is going to stay right here. And it's so beautiful. Now the top branch right here is dead. It's not because it wasn't being watered, but it's actually because when my husband was pulling it out of the car, when I first purchased it many months ago, it broke, it snapped. And I was like, be careful of the branch. And of course it ended up breaking. He tried to fix it, but it just died anyway. So I've got to retrain. I think I'll take this one and try to retrain it to the new top spot to kind of continue the S. But I think this next to the pool just looks absolutely breathtaking. But clearly I just need to get a different pot for this spot, but I haven't done it yet. So that's where it's going to sit for this moment. And I just love this. Here on my table, I have my beautiful rosemary topiaries, and they're looking so good. I actually have the triple going on, and I am loving it. I think it just looks so fancy and beautiful and gives height to this area. Now this patio has gone through so much transformation. I had no plan when I did this. When we first bought this house, the entire backyard was just dirt. Nothing was growing back here. And the back fence was actually pulled in, so probably about, I'd say about right here is where the back fence was. So I had no idea how big my backyard actually was until we moved in. Then we pushed back the fence, we put in the pool, we did the pergola and the patio, we did all that ourselves. And we didn't build the pool, obviously. And we also did not build the patio. We had someone do that. But everything else we did ourselves. So it's gone through a lot of transformation. And the funny thing is, this entire area was not planned. I just kind of like, okay, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do this. And it just kind of evolved over the years. But I love how it turned out. Total beginner's luck, honestly. It looks so good, but not by my doing. It was just, like I said, beginner's luck. It just happened to look really good. So I am so thankful it turned out good, because it could have turned out way wrong. So very happy with this area. Now, one of my very favorite areas of the entire backyard is this patio part. We have the diamond shape down. I think that is so formal looking, plus the pots with these beautiful lemon cypress trees on it. Doesn't that look so pretty? I love it. Oh, look at more butterflies over here. Goodness gracious. But I think these trees were exactly what this patio needed. I'm obsessed. Love it so very much. Now, one of the things that I really wanted in a backyard were these very large stepping stones, and they lead out to the back gate. And I think this just adds so much cottage to my area, especially with something that looks as formal as this patio. I think the patio, with all the straight lines, it looks really formal. Not formal. Well, yes, formal, but also more, I guess, contemporary, modern. But this is my style. Adding all these stepping stones, and they are gorgeous. Over here to my right, this is my limelight hydrangea, and look at this. I've been getting these beetles. I forget what they're called, but they're not good. They destroy things. So we're gonna have to figure something out and get rid of them, because we do not want these in our garden. My son and nephew have been capturing them. Look at that. Nope. They've been capturing them and killing them for me. So thankfully, I have supporters. But look at, they probably have done this mess. Look at that. I think they did. Yikes. So this is the weeping cherry tree I was talking about. It is a beautiful tree. I really like this tree, but I do have a few problems with it. Number one is, this is the back of my yard. I feel like this space needs something very tall, and that tree is not tall enough. This is as tall as it's gonna get. Another issue I have is that every time I get a beautiful branch that arches up taller, it ends up dying. I don't know why. Maybe that's just bad luck, but that's what keeps happening. Like right now, I have this branch right here. Randomly, it's dead. Why? Everything is healthy. Everything is purely green. It looks beautiful, but randomly, a big arching branch is going to die, and it really drives me nuts. So it makes me really sad, because I love this tree. But this is the reason why I wanted to replace it. But I don't want to wait years for something to get big again. So who knows what I'm going to do. Now this flower bed right here, this is actually my flower bed that I kind of put things in here when I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It was kind of like my little nursery over here. Oh, I'm transplanting something, but I don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to put it in this flower bed. And look how pretty this flower bed is nowadays. It's actually one of my favorite flower beds out here. It is so pretty. I have this beautiful nepeta here that I transplanted to put here just for the sake of getting it out of the space that I had it. And it looks so pretty and happy, and bees are all over it. I have this gorgeous jazz hands right here. Look how magenta this is. This gets full shade, and apparently when this plant gets full shade, this is the color it is. I am loving it. Loving this plant. Probably one of my new favorite shade plants. I have my columbine that's peeking through, and I think the colors absolutely complement the jazz hands together. With the bright green next to the burgundy, doesn't that look so pretty together? I think that's a perfect combination, and together they do so well in the shade. Now the plan over here to get to the back fence is, I do like to keep branches trimmed up so hopefully you're walking under it, but you know, that's life sometimes. Here I'm in the back corner, and this is actually where I have an iceberg rose. And now this iceberg rose is just in a pot, just because I haven't planted it yet, and that's the only reason. And I can't decide where I'm going to put it. I think I might want it on the garage. We have a garage over here past this fence, and I'm thinking about having like one of those pergolas over the garage doors built, and I think that would be really pretty growing on that. So that's what I'm waiting for, to see if I should do that. Now, I don't have a pergola thing over the garage, so that has to be built before I can do that. So who knows? I do have this arbor right here, but I was thinking about putting something else on that instead of the rose. But like I said, I haven't decided, so nothing's been done about that. I have a Washington navel orange over here in a pot, and it's looking healthy and happy, and it's doing quite well over here. Some new things that I planted are these Neo Sunjoy barberries. I think that's what they're called. They are so striking and so beautiful. I really like having this in the garden. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so bright. The more sun it gets, the brighter it gets. And this spot over here gets a lot of sun. All the way to the back door, you can see these plants. They pop. It's amazing. Now over here, I'm actually sitting next to this old pot that I purchased. I have been looking for a pot like this for years. I wanted to turn the dog's water dish into a fountain, but I needed to find the right pot to do that. Well, I finally found it, and I love it. So this is the pot. Isn't this so beautiful? Look how aged and old it is. Oh, I love it so much. Very happy with how it looks. Now, right now, the water is not on, the pump is not on, but what I was thinking about doing is actually taking, I've seen a lot of people take some copper and they put that as the fountain, and it always looks so beautiful. So I want to do something like that, maybe put rocks at the bottom to make it look prettier. So it's still a work in progress, but I'm really happy with it. Right here next to the water, I actually have grass. This is called all gold. Is it all gold Japanese forest grass? I think that's what it's called. And the dogs keep chewing on it. They love it. It's not bad. It's not harmful for them. I have one over there as well as one over here. And eventually, my hope is if they stop chewing on it, it'll just continue to grow up and look beautiful and kind of soften the edges over here. I think that would be really pretty. Now in this flower bed, I have just a lot of just big random things. So I have some sage over here. It's looking so pretty. I've got a lilac bush right here. I have some more barberries. I like barberries, especially for my area. They do so well. I have some coleus in the back. I have some globe something. I forget what they're called. But these are just an annual, but they pop and they look so pretty. I really like them having in the garden. I've got some lamb's ear right here, and it's really just massive. This thing could be divided into 15 different pieces, I'm sure. I have some oregano and thyme, all sorts of little ground covers over here in this area. I have some Shasta daisies, and I have some blueberries in pots over here. I have a peach tree in the back, a plum tree, another peach tree over here that needs to be trimmed up. But just a lot of stuff in this area. This is an area I really like how it's turned out. So this is some lemon thyme mixed in with lemon coral sedum. And I think as it's growing together, it just looks so pretty. Now, if you see all the leaves all over the place, that's because of the camphor tree. Camphor trees shed their leaves constantly. It never stops. So that's just going to happen. That's life. I'm not going to waste my time worrying about leaves like this. If you don't want to have a garden with constant leaves, don't plant a camphor. But I love this camphor tree, and it's going to look so beautiful when it's all grown up that I'm willing to overlook all the leaf problem. Look at it as free mulch. Right here, I put these little stepping stones just to make it so there's a walkway to the walkway over here. I bought these stones at like Lowe's or Home Depot. They were actually fairly cheap, and I really like them. To my right over here, this is my herb garden. It's got rosemaries and chives and onions and all sorts of different things, oregano, all sorts of different things in this area. I like it. I like the idea of it, but I just don't know if I'm going to end up keeping it. What I've been thinking about doing is actually taking this out and actually planting more blueberries. We love blueberries. Blueberries are so beautiful, and I think that would just be a really cool thing to have as a row of blueberries. Now, I haven't quite decided. First of all, I have 2 dogs, and they're golden retrievers, and they love to play. Now, they are constantly running through the herb garden currently, and they'll land on the plants. They love to land on the rosemary, and they snap rosemary branches all the time. So what's going to stop them from doing that if I plant blueberries? And blueberry bushes are much more delicate than rosemary. So That's a big one. So I don't know. My daughter is my biggest fan when it comes to putting in the blueberries. She wants more blueberries. She loves the way it looks. And anytime we do some sort of remodel, she's always she's always my biggest cheerleader because she absolutely thrives on updating and changing things just like her mama. So I've created a little twin or a little monster, whatever you want to decide. So who knows? So she's my biggest cheerleader. She wants the blueberries, but I haven't fully committed to it yet. I like the idea, and I'm thinking what I could do to like kind of dress up the area is because this right now, this area is an evergreen. So all of these pretty much stay year round. So that's a big thing for me. I like things that are evergreen. And even though certain varieties of blueberries are semi-evergreen, you're still not going to get the same look. So what I'm thinking I could do is get some sort of evergreen, kind of like an evergreen globe, and kind of put it like right here. It starts it off, and then do like 3 blueberries. So an evergreen, blueberry, 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 and then another evergreen, and then do the same thing, 3 more blueberries, and then another evergreen, and just so on and so on until I actually complete this section. So those are just ideas that I'm kind of running through my head to see what I should do about that. Haven't fully committed. This is my cousin It. It has put so much growth on this year. I love this plant. This is probably one of my favorite plants in the garden. It is so beautiful, and it's probably the name really helps it. It's called Cousin It, and I just think that its name is perfection for this plant. It's so beautiful, and it provides so much texture to this area. See, what the heck? What? It's like something. There we go. There we go. That looks better. I don't know what the heck happened. That was like all pulled up. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Now here to my left, this is actually next to the house. I have this flower bed. This is my cottage garden. I have 2 sections, a sun garden and a shade garden. Now, as the years have gone on, the sun's garden has really picked up more shade, which is really exciting because when you live in the Central Valley and you get the intense heat that we get, and my backyard is a south-facing backyard, it gets hot, really hot. So having shade is a huge deal. And I'll tell you, for the first, I don't know, 8 years of living here, we had full sun back here. But since adding like the camphor tree, and I'll tell you, I spent a lot of money on that camphor tree because I didn't buy a little tree. I spent the money and bought a huge tree. And even though it's been a few years, I have so much shade. It's wonderful. I am so thankful that I did that. So this area is looking pretty good. I do have some heucheras planted here. I did remove a lot of dusty millers. This whole area used to be dusty millers, and it's a plant that I've learned that I do not like. And so I left a couple just for the pop of color because the color is beautiful, but the plant, first of all, it grows way too big in my garden. And second of all, when it blooms, it's got an ugly flower that I really don't like it. So I removed most of it, just left a couple just for the pop of color. And I planted heucheras in its place, and I think those are looking beautiful. I have some more jazz hands over here. Now these ones, I don't know if it's a different variety than I have way over there, but these ones are very maroon, magenta, or burgundy. It's just a nice color to it. These ones really don't have that same color. They're more drabby, I guess. They're beautiful still, but they're not as beautiful as the one over there. So I think it was a different variety. I just don't know which variety it is. Or maybe this just gets more sun, and so therefore it just doesn't show up. The color just doesn't show as well. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you, it's doing all right. It's not the best like that one, but it's all right. As we head over here, this is my apricot tree. I often forget to mention it because it's just a part of the structure, in my opinion, versus a plant. But this is just an apricot tree. In fact, actually, when I purchased it, this was, I think, the first tree that I purchased for my yard, and this was supposed to be an ultra dwarf apricot tree. And I was new at gardening at this time, so I planted it, not really thinking anything other than knowing it's only supposed to get 6 feet tall, and that was it. Well, clearly, that's not the case. This tree is huge. It is not an ultra dwarf, and it's very happy here. Over the years, I realized I want this tree to have structure. I want it to look like art in my yard. And so what I've done is I've only selected a few branches that I kept. Everything else went away. And every time a new leaf grew toward here, I plucked it off because I wanted it to have this structure. And I cannot believe that I'm sitting here staring at it now all these years, and this is what it looks like. It is so beautiful. It provides wonderful fruit. I love this fruit so much, and it just looks absolutely breathtaking. And now it gives all this shade to this, what I call my shade cottage garden. So I have, of course, the Dusty Miller. I have the Coleus. I have a lot of heucheras over here. I have a lot of grasses over here, some more blueberries as well. Stepping stones to the cat house. Hydrangeas. These are boba hydrangeas in the background. And this area just looks so pretty. I'm very happy with it. I forgot to mention that I do have boba hydrangeas under this window as well. So what I did was when I first planted these, I put 3 boba hydrangeas under the window here in the shade garden, and I put 3 here in the sun garden. Now, they're also in pots. So these ones burn a little bit more. And I will say, you do notice it toward the house. The heat radiates off the window and burns some of the branches. The plants are doing fine. It's just some branches need to be trimmed up. And so inside the house, I can see the burn a little bit more than I can on this side, but it's still there, and that does happen. But as you can see, the plants are healthy and they're happy. So they're doing really well in pots in the sun. Now, like I said, this year I do get a lot more shade than they did even last year, but they're still doing quite well. I do like to pop some artichoke plants in here. This one is just about done. It's ready to be removed. So sad. I love having the artichokes just scattered throughout the yard, and I do have artichokes scattered throughout the yard. But when it's time for it to be over, it just makes me so sad. Now, this is my chicken garden. This is one of my favorite places in the entire yard. I pretty much say that about every single section of my yard because I really do like my yard. My yard is a reflection of me, and I think this area just is so awesome. I've got fruits, I've got vegetables, I've got structure, I've got so much character throughout the whole thing, and I love it. I think it is so cool. This is a garden that's always evolving over time. I did not plan this when I first started gardening, when we first moved into this home. It has just taken form and taken shape, and it's taken many years to get here. But over time, it's just, you know, you kind of think about something like, oh, this would be pretty. So you try new things. The thing that I love the most about what I've done with my yard is actually putting up more fencing to block off different sections. That was hard at first. I did not want to do that. And it started off with my vegetable garden. Let me take you over there before we go into the chicken garden. I know I ramble so much and my mind gets distracted so often. You probably, if you follow me, you know that as I'm talking, sometimes all of a sudden I'm just shooting in a different direction. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But let's go to the vegetable garden really quick so I can explain to you what I'm talking about with what I did. So as soon as we put in the pool and the patio, I knew I wanted this section to be a vegetable garden. I added the blueberry hedge and I added the arbor. Those are the things I knew I wanted. I did not want a fence. I wanted it to be a living fence is what I wanted. So that's what my blueberry hedge was. That was the blocker between the vegetable garden and the rest of the yard. And for years it worked really well. Like really well. But then we got a dog, but he's not out here with me right now. So Gus, we got Gus a few years ago, and he loves the vegetables just as much as we do. And he believes, like wholeheartedly, he believes that we planted all these vegetables and fruit for him. And so he goes out here and he picks every single one. Every single one. Not a joke. Literally. I had that first year, I didn't have a single fruit. I didn't have a single anything because he ate it all. So I had no choice. I knew I had to put up a fence. And I really didn't want to put up this fence. I thought it was just going to make it feel so just hardscape on hardscape. That's kind of how I felt. I just was not happy about it. But what I decided to do was I pushed the fence behind the blueberries. So I still have my living wall. Then as I'm adding like the roses on it, and I actually want to espalier fruit trees on this as well. And I just haven't done that yet, but that is a goal. And that will just help add more greenery to this area, so it's not just hardscape. Then adding things like the finials and the antique gate. Those changed my perspective completely. This antique gate, I got at an antique store. They actually got it from India, is where I was told it's from. Doesn't it look like a storybook cottage gate? I mean, look at the spindles. Isn't that so pretty? I mean, do you see the designs on it? Oh my gosh, this was meant for me. Truly, it was meant for me. So this changed my perspective completely. And then adding the finials as well. Now I just got these finials at Lowe's. It wasn't anything special. Look at it. See, it's just a regular fence. Nothing spectacular about it. But then you add the finials on top and all of a sudden it changes the way it looks. So I highly recommend dressing up an area that just, it looks okay, it looks fine, but adding something extra like that makes a huge difference. Another thing that I did over here was I added a statue way over here. I don't know if you guys can see her or not with the sun glaring, but she's a lady statue that's actually a sundial. And I tucked her into the raspberries, not purposefully, but I thought, well, I'll try it, see if I like her right there. She's completely centered with this area, and she looks so beautiful tucked under the raspberries. I'm thinking about getting a spotlight, and I know I've said that before, but I'm still thinking about it. But getting a spotlight that kind of like shines up on our face at nighttime, because I do have lights on the flower beds. These are actually solar lights right here, and they come on every single night, and they light the pathway. And so it just kind of like shines all the way to her, and I just think that is so beautiful. So I think a spotlight at the end of the walkway would just be absolutely fitting. But look at her. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, I really like her so very much. Now, she is from Unique Stone, and the color that I got her in, I believe it's called, is it dark walnut? It's something like that, but it's a dark walnut color, and the coloring is so gorgeous. I thrive on these types of colors. She is so beautiful. I love making just regular things look beautiful. I think that it really steps up a notch. I think I don't know. I think that it's a look I very much like. We got to keep this gate closed, otherwise Gus will go in there and eat the vegetables. But let's go back to the chicken garden over here. Again, this is an area I really like. We put up this fence here because I wanted it again to just be a cozy little room. I have grapevines growing on it. My grape clusters are looking so good. So many of them. Oh, so excited. I can't wait till they're ready. These are my bay leaf topiaries. If you've never had bay leaves before, you need to. It is so delicious and they smell so good. You just break it up in your hand like this, and then you smell it. Oh, it's so flavorful. Oh my goodness, you can put them in soups and stews and marinara sauce. Such a good thing. Definitely recommend. Like I said, mine's just in a pot, so it's not even taking up much room, and I will have it set up where it's just formal. You know, it's a topiary that's flanking an entryway into a room. It's just another way to just add formality to a garden. Now, as you can see, this one does not have any finials yet. Yes, I said yet. I ordered some off of Etsy from an antique store, and they're supposed to arrive on Monday. We'll see. They're so beautiful. They're antiques. They've already got that age to it. They're like perfect for this spot. So, and I only got two, so it's just gonna be right at the entryway right here rather than the ends. I'm not caring about the ends so much. Mostly I wanted them right here, but I'm so excited. I can't wait to have those installed. Just having little details sure do that. They just do something for me. Now here's part of that rustic charm. I do have this spot just kind of blocking the walkway a little bit where you just have to kind of brush it, but I think that's part of the charm. I really like that look. But front and center, this is my chicken coop. I love this chicken coop. I searched for months trying to find a chicken coop that will be the design that I'm looking for. And I'm very particular, as you probably well know. And I found this at Modesto Feed. Now the door was different. The door was something else. And my husband built this door for me. And then I bought these finials, not finials, what are these called? Corbels. I bought these corbels at an antique store and I thought they'd be perfect. And sure enough, look how perfect they are on this. I absolutely love this. I have a climbing rose growing up the top, and I try to keep it small just so it just has that whimsical look where it doesn't overtake anything, because this is a small area. This is not a large area, so I have to be very careful with what I plant in this area. But it's looking so pretty. This little medallion up here, this I actually got from I just got from a vendor. Which show was it? It was some sort of antique show in Modesto, in the country, at a restaurant. Casa de, no, it wasn't Casa de Fruta. What is it called? We all know. If you live in the Modesto area, you know of this place. It's in the country off of, I think, Yosemite. They have antique shows once in a while where many vendors get to come and sell their stuff. Well, this is one of them. This lady actually created this, and I should have grabbed her card and I didn't, because I love this. So she had multiple different metal designs. Some of them were protected so they don't turn rusty. I wanted the one that would turn rusty because I like that look, and I just think that is absolutely breathtaking. Now in this garden, this was a lot of work. I'll tell you, this took a long time for me to do. I did this mostly myself. My husband helped a little bit, but he really wanted nothing to do with it. So he helped install the chicken coop. He helped build the run as well. And he did help me with the edging, but digging down, rototilling. This used to be the kids' playground area, and this is what it looks like now. So I love it. I really love it. We got my boxwoods all planted very formal. Because it's like a farm area and already has a lot of stuff in here to make it seem more rustic, I needed some formality to it. I don't want this to be a rustic country barn looking area. I wanted to have beauty into it. So it was very important to me that I actually planted boxwoods in here to add the formality to it, to make it more a parterre rather than just a farmyard is really what it is. So my inspiration was truly a parterre. I wanted straight lines. And what parterre is originally a French garden that's very formal. So a lot of symmetry in parterres. And because this is a square, I was able to create that. It's a small parterre, but a parterre nonetheless. So I love this spot. So I have my boxwoods all planted. I've got tons of peppers in here, and I can't remember how many peppers I have planted, but I probably have about 14 peppers in here. And they're doing really well, really liking how it looks. I didn't have enough mulch to cover up the cardboard. I do need to go and get more. We're gonna wait and be patient and kind of just overlook that. But everything is looking really good. My peppers are starting to grow, which makes me very happy because I love peppers. In the corners over here, I have some pots that are filled with cucumbers and chives and all sorts of stuff that's just really fun. Over here is my pile of strawberries that have been dug up. So I had them in these little flower boxes over here, but now I just don't know where they're gonna go. So they're just sitting over here. Don't worry, they're all still alive. Yes, they're above ground, but I'm keeping the soil completely moist every single day. I'm watering them, so they're doing fine, as you can tell. But I still don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I'm not gonna throw them away because I love strawberries. Hello, girlies. How you doing? How you doing? My pot, my shade pot with the Japanese maple is looking so pretty. Look at the colors. Isn't that so beautiful? This is exactly the look that I wanted it to look like, and it's turning out so well. Do I have any eggs? No. Oh, there's one over there. There it is. The best thing about having chickens is truly collecting the eggs. I love collecting eggs. It's just so much fun. I probably will always have chickens. I love it so much. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this garden tour, and I'll see you next time. Bye.